War, a word that often conjures images of prolonged battles, years of conflict, and generations affected. But not all wars follow that pattern. In fact, the shortest war in recorded human history lasted less than an hour. Today, we're going back to the morning of August 27th, 1896, the day the Anglo-Zanzibar War took place. A war so brief you could have missed it during breakfast. To understand how such a short war came to be, we must first understand the context. The location was the island of Zanzibar, off the coast of present-day Tanzania, in East Africa. In the late 19th century, Zanzibar was a powerful sultanate, but like much of the African continent, it had become entangled in European colonial ambitions. The British Empire, seeking to control trade routes and strategic ports in the Indian Ocean, had exerted significant influence over Zanzibar. By the 1890s, Zanzibar was effectively a British protectorate, though it still had its own sultan. In 1893, a pro-British sultan named Hamad bin Thuwaini was installed with British approval. He ruled peacefully for several years, until his sudden death on August 25, 1896. Hamad's death triggered a crisis. Almost immediately, his cousin, Khalid bin Barghash, seized the palace and declared himself the new sultan, without British consent. The British authorities, led by Consul Basil Cave, were alarmed. They considered Khalid hostile to British interests and accused him of taking power illegally. The British demanded that Khalid step down, but Khalid refused. Instead, he barricaded himself inside the palace, gathered around 2,800 men, some of them armed, and even had a few artillery pieces and a royal yacht equipped with weapons in the harbor. The British responded by moving warships into position in the port of Zanzibar town and gave Khalid an ultimatum: step down by 9 a.m. on August 27th, or face war. The morning of August 27th arrived. The deadline passed. Khalid had not surrendered. At exactly 9:02 a.m., the British warships opened fire. Within minutes, the Sultan's palace, a grand structure made largely of wood, was in flames. British shells struck Khalid's artillery positions, silencing them almost immediately. The Sultan's forces returned fire, but their outdated weaponry was no match for modern British firepower. The royal yacht, HHS Glasgow, attempted to engage the British ships, but it was quickly sunk. By 9:40 a.m., the shelling had stopped. The palace was destroyed, hundreds of Khalid's men were dead or wounded, and the resistance had collapsed. The war was over. Total duration: between 38 and 45 minutes. Khalid bin Barghash managed to escape from the palace during the bombardment and fled to the German consulate, where he was given asylum. He later escaped to German East Africa, where he remained in exile. The British installed a new sultan, Hamoud bin Mohammed, one who was favorable to British rule. Though the war was brief, its consequences were lasting. It marked the end of significant resistance to British control in Zanzibar. The island would remain under British influence until its independence in 1963. Casualties were heavily one-sided. Over 500 Zanzibari defenders were killed or wounded. The British, on the other hand, reported only one sailor injured. The Anglo-Zanzibar War stands as a strange moment in military history, a war so short that some questioned whether it even deserved the title. But it was real. It had real consequences, and it serves as a reminder of the often uneven nature of colonial power in the 19th century. Wars don't always last years. Sometimes they last less than an hour. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more forgotten moments in history. Until next time, stay curious.